Minutes after the top of the hour. And our show today, as it is every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific, is the Note Investing for Newbies show. So I'm glad you guys are here joining me this morning, wherever you are across America. So in today's show, we're going to be talking about the topic of today's show. We're going to be talking about how to conquer your fear and buy your first note, right? Because we do see people that have to deal with that a lot. And as a result of that, people are often like stuck, I guess you could say, and they wind up not actually pulling the trigger. So we're going to help you guys conquer that. Our show today is brought to you by Invest Brilliantly. Invest Brilliantly is a place where you can go online, investbrilliantly.com. You can go online, and on the Invest Brilliantly website, you can learn about note investing. Now, if you don't know about note investing, what I want to do, since this is the Note Investing for Newbies show, I want to take a couple of minutes to just explain to you guys what note investing is, because I like to make sure that everybody's pretty clear on what note investing actually is and what it involves, what it entails, I guess is the best way to say that. So what note investing is this. If you are going to buy a house, here's how it starts. Basically, you're going to buy a house. You don't have cash, and so you go to a bank. And then while you're at the bank, what you do is you apply for a mortgage, right? You fill out all the paperwork. You give them your tax returns, your pay stubs, and all that stuff. You know how it works. And once you do all of that, they're going to check you out and see if in fact you are bankable, if they are willing to lend you the money so that you can buy the house, because you don't have enough to pay cash. And so if you are bankable, then what will happen is they'll give you a loan. They'll loan you money, right? And when they loan you that money, they're going to have you sign two documents. One of those documents is called a mortgage. A mortgage is basically something that says, if I don't pay you back, you can take something, you can take my real estate from me. They're also going to have you sign something called a promissory note. A promissory note is a document that says, I owe you money and I agree to pay you back at this interest rate every month, whatever, right? That's how it works. So as a mortgage note investor, what I do is very simply this. I go to the bank that loaned you the money, and then I say to the bank, look, I'd like to buy that mortgage and that note. And then what happens is they'll sell me that. And now as a homeowner, you don't pay them anymore. Now every month you pay me. That's note investing in a nutshell. Okay. And so at least that way, now we all kind of understand what note investing is. So now we're on the same page. Good morning, Mary Jane. Welcome. Welcome to our show today, Note Investing for Newbies. Glad to see you here today. Also, I want to point out to you guys too, that if you'd like to learn more about note investing at a deeper level, you can head over to noteinvestoruniversity.com, and at Note Investor University, I have courses there that you can take. I have free courses there as well. I have a note broker course if you want to go out into the note space. Maybe you don't have enough money right now to get started, and so you just want to earn some income in the note space. I show you how to do that at the Note Investor University, starting with no money. I show you how you can actually earn income right there. All right. Hey, I'm going to welcome Pat to the show today. Welcome to Pat. Glad to see you here. And I see that my friend Patrick is here today too. And Patrick, I do want to tell you, yes, you're my guest today. So I sent you over a link to your email, your Note Mentor email, and you should be able to click on that link. Join me right in the waiting room, and look forward to seeing you there. All right. So, hey guys. So I want to invite you guys to like and share this, because today we are going to be going through, as I said, we're going to be going through how to conquer the fear of pulling the trigger to buy your first note. So please like and share this, and let's get on. If you guys have any questions right now this morning, feel free to put those questions right into our chat, and I'll see what I can do about answering those questions. But, you know, regardless, regardless of whether you have questions or not, we will be covering our topic today. So let me just start here. I'll share with you guys what the topic is. We're going to be talking about this right here. Here we go. Conquer your fear to buy your first note. You know, I have people that call me all the time and they'll ask me, can I buy a note, you know, like for $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? And yeah, the answer is yes. I've seen notes at all kinds of price points. What's the quality of the note at 1,000, 5,000, or 10,000? Well, that's a whole nother story. But yes, the notes are out there. And so I can understand why a person might be afraid, you know, to pull the trigger on their first note. But I have a solution for you today, and that's what we're going to be talking about. What's the solution for pulling the trigger on your first note deal? And there is definitely a way to do it so that you're comfortable. Part of what you have to do is something called due diligence. And we talk about that. I won't be going through due diligence today, but due diligence is the process of checking out a mortgage note. At least due diligence, the way I'm using it, is the process of checking out a mortgage note and the documentation involved in that mortgage note before you buy it, so that when you buy it, you don't lose sleep. You know, you don't feel threatened or anything like that. So that's what that's what we're going to be covering today. I have a guest today. His name is Patrick Franz. He's going to be joining us. He's the note mentor. Patrick's in this space. He's doing extremely well. I'm really proud of him. He was one of my very first students back in the day, a few years ago, and Patrick is doing fantastic. And I'm glad that he's agreed to come onto the show today. So that's going to be fun if we can get Patrick all on, you know, how technology works, but we should be able to get Patrick on here shortly. So that being said, let me just kind of move on through this presentation here. So here's the question. If you are looking at mortgage notes, what's holding you back? What is it that's creating this fear, the skepticism for you, right? And so here's what I can tell you in my experience. The thing that's holding people back is usually fear. You know, that's usually what it is that makes people just do nothing or do stupid stuff, right? Make silly mistakes. And so what I want you guys to understand is this: there's a way around that. And as a professional investor, I'm always looking for ways to overcome fear, because, you know, people think that because I invest in mortgage notes and I'm a professional, that I don't get nervous. Oh, I absolutely get nervous before pulling the trigger on a mortgage note. Not on all of them, because I've certainly learned a lot more than I used to know, but I still get a little bit nervous when I'm about to buy a note, right? I mean, it's just kind of natural, I think, when you're going through that. So how do you deal with the fear? Well, here's the 3 fear responses that people have in general, not just over mortgage note investing, but just in general. The 3 fear responses that people have is to freeze. First of all, they just freeze. You know, think about this. Like if you were walking down through a path, you know, like here in San Diego where we are, we have these mountain passes, and we have mountain lions that sometimes are there, right? So if you're walking down through a pass in one of the mountains out here, and then all of a sudden you look up and there's a mountain lion up there in front of you, what are you going to do? Freeze, right? That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. That's the first response with fear, is to freeze. And that's what happens when you're afraid to invest in a note too. You just freeze. And in this space, we call that analysis paralysis, right? Because you're literally, you're stuck. You're looking and you're thinking and you're overthinking and you're thinking some more and you're asking questions, and it's beyond due diligence that I'm talking about. Obviously, you want to have good due diligence, but this is beyond due diligence. This is like crazy, right? Sometimes you feel like, why can't I just do this? Why do I keep feeling this way? So, but understand, it's natural. So if you didn't freeze, if you didn't start to feel a little bit apprehensive, especially when you're brand new, I might worry a little bit about you. So it's a natural response is to slow down or even freeze. And that's the analysis paralysis. But you can get over that, okay? And you need to get over that if you're actually going to pull the trigger. So the second response, after freezing, now let's go back to our lion analogy, right? After freezing, what's next? You might run, right? I mean, that's kind of the way things work. That's how we are wired. It's called fight or flight. And it's called that for a reason, because that when you're afraid, boom, that's what you want to do. You want to get the heck out of there. And so you might run. And the same thing happens here in the note space. You freeze, and then you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't really get this, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, and I'm really scared, and I'm really nervous. And so what'll happen in that whole run scenario that you'll see with the note space is basically you'll wind up passing. And that's usually what happens. I've seen people that have passed on everything for a whole year or even longer. I'm thinking of one guy in particular. I know he passed on things for 2 years. Didn't do anything. His money's sitting there in the bank doing nothing. But because he was so paralyzed with fear that he just couldn't do anything. And so what I want to share with you guys is, there's a way around that. You just have to understand what it takes to actually give you comfort. And so I'm going to be addressing that here in just a minute. All right. I see here that Patrick wrote to me. Patrick says, glad you're feeling better. Well, some of you guys don't know, but yesterday I wasn't feeling that well, but I feel great today. I think I just needed some sleep. So I spent the day resting, and I feel it's just right as rain, as they say today. But thank you, Patrick. Yeah, Patrick, you should jump on. I did send you over a link so that you can jump on. I sent it to your email, and I don't see you on here yet. So I'm going to just send you that link once more and see if you can come on with me. I'm going to send it to, here we go. And I'll just put in here, Patrick. This is my guest link. I just sent it to your email, my friend. It's there. Oh, it looks like Patrick is here with me. All right, let me just go back here and just bring Patrick in.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right.
There you are. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
Hi. Good morning. I'm glad you're feeling good and on your live this morning. I didn't think you'd be doing it, but I'm glad you are.
Thank you. Well, I'm a trooper, man. I try to keep going, and I felt absolutely perfect today. Like, I don't know what yesterday was about, but sometimes those things happen, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Hey, look, I'm checking out your cash flow hat. I like that.
Yeah, well, since I didn't know you were coming on, it was caught last minute a little bit, and I thought, well, I don't have quite time to do my hair, so I'm going to throw that cash flow on.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to see if I can put us on the screen together here. I'm not that. Let's see here. I think I start video. I already got that here. And Patrick, while I'm figuring out how to get us on screen, can you give me a little bit of background about you and kind of what, for you guys that don't know Patrick is kind of a celebrity in his own right. He is the Note Mentor, and he speaks at events and national note events. He speaks on podcasts and things like that. So I'm very happy to have him on our show today. And I'm going to just have Patrick tell you a little bit about his story while I try to figure out the technology here on getting us both on screen. And so Patrick, what's up?
Yeah, well, thanks. I was, it's a crazy story with me because I was an athlete. I grew up as an athlete. So I was all about being competitive. And I grew up in a very competitive and athletic family. And that's really what I was doing in my life. When I had to grow up in the world and start making money, I decided I didn't want to be the type of guy that would work just a regular job, which I did plenty of, nothing against being a waiter and working in the lumber yard, but boy, I'll tell you, those were not for me. So I decided at a young age, somewhere around, oh goodness, I think I started when I was 15, but by the time I was 19, I was really hardcore into heavy sales. Yeah. So, at 19 years old, I was already raising venture capital for startup companies.
Whoa.
that was a good learning experience, right? I was working with a lot of wealthy guys at that point. I was only 19 years old. I learned a lot of good selling skill set and raising money for companies. So as that progressed, I ended up being a sales manager for many years, and at being able to train sales companies, sales crews for people's companies. And I did that for a long time. And I think, when you met me, Des, I think that I was, when you met me, there was no doubt, you can attest to the fact that I was on the phone from like 9 a.m. till about 9 o'clock at night, no matter whether we were whether we were at the park or the beach or the dinner. I was always working. So it was a really neat life I had. I mean, I was well respected. I had fun teaching people. I've been told I'm a really good teacher. And so it was really nice. It was rewarding. But to work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday isn't quite the life I was looking for outside of work. It was good to be working all the time and making good money and all, but to spend no time with your family or be able to go on vacations or play golf when you want to play golf, it wasn't quite the life I wanted. And I never quite knew how to get out of it. You know that I've been a serial entrepreneur. You know my backstory, but I've started my own company. I've got patents in my name. I've invented a product, brought it to market. I've raised millions of dollars. I've done all the right stuff. And nothing really ever felt right. Nothing ever hit. And I've just been always in pursuit from a young man. I'm 41 now, but as a young man.
Really? You don't look 41.
Thank you. The gray in the beard gives it away. But no, always chasing the dream is what we've got to do, and I know you say this a lot, but others have said it to me in the past, but the only way that you're really never going to succeed is if you give up. So I've been always looking for the next thing, always keeping my eyes open for the next opportunity. And when I met you and you told me about notes, I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you. I said, no. That sounds too good to be true. There's got to be a catch. And so, gosh, I think for 3 or 6 months straight, I just tried to pick your brain to find the catch. I was always trying to pick holes in things and find what's the catch with notes. It's too good to be true. But finally realizing that it's not too good to be true, and that banks, hedge funds, and individual investors have been playing the game for years, but it's just not advertised on home and garden television. So all of us normal people don't know about it. And you told me about it. It just changed my life because, as you know now, with my daughter, she's 22 months old, and it's a joy to be able to not only be fulfilled with what you do, be able to coach and help people like I always have, but also be able to have some free time to be able to live life.
Yeah. So right now in your coaching business, in your note business, what kind of hours are realistic for you? And I know you're doing more than just a note investing, right? I mean, you do some coaching, you do some teaching, you do speaking, right? But even with all of that, what are you working less hours now than you did before?
I don't think you can work more hours than I did before. but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The time freedom is really the real freedom. The time freedom is really the real freedom. And yes, absolutely. I have much more time now. I'm not working 12 hours a day to manage my note portfolio. That's not how it goes. Yeah. But then, it leaves time for other things. Like you said, I mean, if I was a sales manager still, I wouldn't have time for other things. And here I have time for other things, meaning other prosperous things. So I can not only manage my portfolio, but I can help others manage theirs. I can help others get into note investing. I can coach people. I have the ability to do all that. Thank goodness, because of notes,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, Patrick's story is a pretty inspiring story. And you guys can find Patrick over at thenotementor.com. That's where he hangs out. And he's also got you have a YouTube channel too, right, Patrick? And
I'm going to be doing some revamp on that 2021 so that everybody can get some real value out of it. But I have a YouTube channel up there. There's some videos and things, but I'm really going to get after it this year to make a really good YouTube channel that's real educational for people that want to know. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Patrick, today I'm talking with the students about how to pull the trigger on their first note. And I remember a certain person really be nervous about pulling the trigger on that first note deal. Do you remember your first note deal?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like to say it puckers you up, and you think that's a funny statement that I say, but it puckers you up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you do your first note deal, it's a scary thing. It can be a scary thing. Sure.
Yeah, it can be. I have a question here from Visal. I think I said that right. Visal. He says, is there a Ponzi scheme element to this line of work? Meaning that I have to bring new people into note investing. First of all, let me just say at the very beginning, you don't have to bring a single person into note. This is investing. If you have money, then just invest, just like anything else. But I'll ask Patrick to also address that.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Ponzi scheme, if you look up the definition of Ponzi scheme, it doesn't mean you're bringing people into something nice or something cool. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at it like this. If you were to go and see a really good movie, you would probably end up telling a bunch of people about it, right?
Yeah.
Because the movie The Big Short relates to our business, Desi. I was talking to you the other day. I said, you got to watch the movie The Big Short. It's a really good movie. It's all about, note investing in the mortgage market. Really cool movie. Well, they're not paying me to do that.
Right.
I don't get any credit for that. It's not a scheme that I'm telling you about a great movie. So when people find note investing, to answer his question, when people find note investing, they tend to realize that it's a really amazing investment vehicle. It just is. There's tons of upside. There's tons of exit strategy. There's all sorts of different ways to win as an investor in the note space. All the while, you can help homeowners. You can help homeowners prevent foreclosures on their records. You can help homeowners stay in their homes. You can help them afford their payment. You can do all sorts of great things in the note business. So once someone realizes that, I believe they tend to go out and want to tell other people because they're excited about it. So the way I look at it is this: if you found a gold mine and you didn't have enough strength or a big enough shovel to dig all the gold out of that gold mine by yourself, I imagine you'd probably go tell your good friends and family or people that you care about that you'd want them to succeed as well. So you'd say, hey, listen, I found this gold mine. I literally stumbled upon a gold mine. I know where it's at. I know the location. I will bring you there and you can help dig out gold for you and your family. And you can prosper as well. Well, that's note investing. There's no scheme there. Yeah. You want to tell people about something that's benefiting you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're not talking Ponzi scheme, but I do believe that when you find something good, you should share it. So thank you, Patrick, for answering that. Yeah. Someone else asked a question on here. Do you need a license to buy notes, to buy a note in California? The answer is no. You don't need a license to buy a note. Here's what you should understand. You're investing. Just like you don't need a license to buy an apartment building, you don't need a license to buy stock, you don't need a license to buy gold. You're investing. You're buying an investment product when you buy a note. So good question. Thank you very much. Well, let's see here, Patrick. I'm going to just head back over here to my presentation briefly and finish up and show people how I think you can get around this whole thing of fear, because everybody's afraid to pull the trigger. And I get that, so let's just see here. Here we go. So you guys, here's what I want you guys to know. As I said, with fear, the responses basically work this way, right? First, you freeze, you have analysis paralysis. Whenever we're in fear of anything, that's the first thing that happens. We freeze, then we run, right? And in our business, running is basically this: it's saying, I'll pass. I'm not going to pull the trigger right now because I'm not comfortable or whatever, but it's all based in fear. And then the last thing, of course, in the fight or flight fear response is fighting. In our space is really, nobody's going to beat you up. There's no fighting that I've seen just because they're afraid. What happens realistically is they just go away, right? So the response that I think to fear is this: you've got to do some things to help you overcome fear. And it's really not that complex. Okay, the first thing is this: if you don't understand what's going on and how the business works, it's going to make you nervous. And Patrick mentioned that puckering thing, right, Patrick? Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll make you pucker, right? It's like, "Ah, what's going on here?" And so, what's going to help that a lot is just knowledge. And so, if you don't know enough, when you come to me or Patrick and you want to invest in notes, it's not unusual for us to say to our students, you know what, you're not ready to invest in a note yet. I know you have a lot of money, but it's not time for you to pull the trigger, because at the end of the day, you need to know that you did well. And if you don't know enough to know if you've done well, then you need to learn more before you buy your first note. It's really that simple. And so I talk to people about having the knowledge, getting that knowledge. You can learn from us, but you shouldn't only learn from us. There's a lot of good teachers out there and good information. There's a lot of garbage out there too, but there's a lot of good information. And so one of the things that you can do to learn, of course, is you can head on over to the Note Investor University, and you can take our courses that we have there. They're not very expensive. And if you decide that you want to, I even have a free course in there. So if you decide that you want to participate in this space, first things first, learn what you need to know so that you can have that baseline. And then the next thing that I suggest is this, and this is what professionals do. You need to have somebody that can help you by coaching you. You need to be able to pick up the phone and call someone who's been there, done that, and say, this is what I'm thinking about, or this is what I'm looking at, and get some feedback, some honest feedback from a third party that understands it, maybe even at a higher level than you, and they can give you a new perspective, right? And sometimes it's that new perspective that gives you the courage to move forward. But sometimes it's that new perspective that gives you the confidence to step away and not give it a second thought. But the bottom line is this: you have someone else's opinion, and it's someone that you respect and knows this stuff. Okay. And so that is the way that we handle the fear. Let's just see here. There we go. There we go. So Patrick, that's the way we handle the fear. Wouldn't you think? Like getting the education and then getting some coaching?
It's of utmost importance, I would say. There's just no way that you can travel out into the unknown, and there's no way that you can really step outside your comfort zone enough and feel comfortable with it, with note investing. I don't think if you're in the beginning, you have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody that's been in the trenches and that's done it time and time again, that's had successes, that's had failures, that understands the processes. You have to. There's no way I would be able to succeed as quickly as I have in the note space without one of the most exceptional mentors in the industry. That's you. So
thank you.
There's no way I'd be where I'm at if it weren't for you as my mentor. That's end of story. You wouldn't be where you're at in notes without a few of your mentors that taught you, right,
Absolutely.
Desi? So
Absolutely.
it keeps being passed down. Desi, as smart as the guy is, compliments to Des, as smart as he is, you didn't invent this stuff. I didn't invent this stuff. Desi, you learned from other people that had been good at it prior to you. And all the knowledge they passed down to you, you were able to absorb and then use your amazing background of real estate, economics, and sales, which you have all of that. And you put that to work in the note business, and you're very good with it. Same with me. I have certain skill sets that come from my background of raising capital, being a good public speaker, being a good salesperson. All of that stuff I already had. When somebody teaches me, like you, when you teach me about notes, now it's my job to add my flavor to it,
Right.
to bring my skills to the table and allow my skills to add to the brilliance of note investing. So we all bring our own background, but without a mentor and without being passed down knowledge of the note space specifically, you're in trouble.
Hey, I've got some other questions here. Hey guys, we're 30 minutes in now, so I want to just start winding this down. But we do have a few other questions, Senor. You want to answer another question?
I want to answer all their questions.
Okay, here's one here. Mary Jane says, do you teach how to set up the note with the loan servicing company once it's acquired?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, a part of coaching somebody is through the processes. So not only do we want to coach somebody on educational things, the things that you need to know, but also want to help coach people on the processes, how things
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing is you really need a mentor, whether it be me or Desi or anybody else in the business that is a mentor in the note space, to walk you through the processes, especially at least your first time, right? Have
Yeah.
somebody walk you through when you buy the note. This is what to expect next. This is how long it's going to take. This is the next thing we're going to do, so on and so forth. Almost like if you could check down a checklist of things you've got to do. But yeah, of course, absolutely, it helps to be
Okay.
walked through it your first time. Absolutely. Yeah.
So we do not have the people pay us directly, right? Vishal asked the question, do we have the homeowners pay us directly? And
No,
I'll say, yeah, no, we don't want that.
no, and as a matter of fact, that goes back to the question that Mary Jane just asked. So there's a servicing company, and a servicing company is sort of like a property management company if you're a landlord. And so what we want to do is we hire a servicing company to be the middleman or the liaison between us as the note owner and the current homeowner who's the borrower living there. So yes, to answer his question, it would be really strange if some person living in their house had to send their mortgage payment to Patrick Franz every month. It's just weird, right?
Well, Patrick, let me say this though, and you're absolutely right. That would be weird. But here's the
It's kind of
thing.
weird.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, if you want people to send it to you, you can. You own the mortgage note. You are the bank in their mind. So you can literally have it sent to you. We just don't recommend it, but it's your investment. You do what you want. But we do show you how the professionals like us, how we handle that situation. And Patrick just laid that out for you guys.
Yeah.
Bethany Bethany came on today and she mentioned that there's one state where you do need a license to buy notes. And let me just say this, and that's if you're going to buy the note inside your entity, like inside your LLC or your corporation, yeah, you do need a license in one state to buy notes. But if you're buying it if you're buying it in your own name, then there are all 50 states you don't need a license. If you're just an individual person buying a note in your own name, and then you can still use a loan servicer to collect the payments for you. It's just a function of how you literally take title to the note.
Is that Georgia?
Yeah, that would be Georgia. Mm-hmm. And those are the kinds of things that we teach you guys when you guys sign up for our program. By the way, we have a program that for $97 a month, you have access to all of the trainings that we have available right now. And you have one-on-one coaching with us, and you have weekend, Saturday morning group coaching. And I mean, it's really pretty phenomenal. Patrick, what do you think of our, what we have there seems to me to be pretty incredible.
Hey, listen, it's so funny, Des. People are amazed at that. And I didn't realize, but I've been looking at everybody else's coaching programs, not to dog them, because there's a lot of good stuff to learn from a lot of good people out there, right? But for what our coaching group provides for $97, oh my goodness gracious.
I know. It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty wild. If somebody wants to learn about note investing, guys, go over to the are you still sending them to your Invest Brilliantly, or is it all the NIU now?
I send them to Invest Brilliantly. If they just want to learn, I have a lot of free information on investbrilliantly.com. So they can go to investbrilliantly.com, get a lot of free information, get yourself comfortable enough that you feel okay to invest $100, $97 into your future. Okay. Once you're there, then you head over to the Note Investor University, and there's a link right on my investbrilliantly.com website. You can just head right over from there, and you can join our community. And by the way, it's $97 a month, and you can quit anytime. If you feel like, this is not what I want to do, then just quit, But here's what I can tell you. We have about 138 students right now. I think is what I saw yesterday, Patrick. And most of them have been with us now for months and months and months. And because we didn't launch this program till this past April, right? And so it's been pretty incredible to see the growth. Every Saturday we meet on a Zoom call with our students and partners, and we talk about note investing. We do some group coaching. We have guest speakers on. It's pretty impressive. We have people like foreclosure attorneys on, people from servicing companies, people that you need to know if you're going to be in the note business, if you're going to be an investor. You need to know these people. And so what we do is we bring them in so that you get to know them, and you get to add their information into your database. That's what we're about. We're trying to help you become successful in this space. And so once you realize that and join us, your life will never be the same. And I mean that sincerely. The people that are part of our group are seeing life-changing things happening for themselves. And you can do it and never look back. Okay. Someone says here, let's see, this is Angel says, looking forward to speaking with you on Friday. Desi, I appreciate you guys for what you do. You're welcome, Angel. It's my pleasure. Jonas says, I'm a part of this group and I've learned more in 2 months than I ever thought possible. Great team. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that testimonial. I really, really do. Mary Jane had asked the question, which state is it that you need a license if you're doing it with an entity? I think Patrick addressed that, right?
Yeah, it's Georgia.
Georgia, the state of Georgia. Yeah.
And there are clever ways, folks, to be able to do things properly. The key is, when you're buying a note, part of the due diligence process is to understand the state's rules, the state and county's rules in which you're buying the note in. It's part of your due diligence. So you want to know what you're doing, and if you were doing due diligence on a note in Georgia, that's one of those things that would probably come up in your due diligence processes, and you would understand that you would need to do something different. So
yeah. Well, I have I have about 30 or 35 students or so on a program right now, Patrick. I call it the 90-day note business. It's designed to help a person that wants to actually change their careers. And I'm teaching them right now at no extra charge through our coaching program, how they can build a home-based note business that will literally make them millionaires in 3 to 5 years if they'll follow my plan, literally, right? And so I'm teaching that, and I'm happy to do that. This is one way that I can give back, because I've been so blessed financially and in every way, really. But this is a way that I can give back. And so for those people that are sincerely interested in changing their lives, that program is really a fantastic program. I'll likely be changing that in 2021 for the new students that come in 2021, because I'm starting to be overwhelmed with the coaching part of it. So right now I'm letting students in that part for free, Patrick. But next month, literally next month, I'll likely be charging for that. And so for those of you guys that want to learn how to build a note business, that's another reason to just get on over to investbrilliantly.com, book a 30-minute call with me, and let's see where we can go from there. And I just wanted to put that out there. All right. So Patrick, any parting words of advice for the people that are on our live today?
Absolutely. Do you want to change your life financially? That's the question. Do you want to change your life financially? If you don't, then you don't want to get into note investing. It's period. End of story. If you want a better financial future, right? People always have a different take on what money is for themselves, right? Some people really want money because they want to buy a Lamborghini. Good for you. Good for you. Some people want money because they want to get out of a little apartment and they want to live in a nice house for their family. Good for you. Some people want to retire rich. Good for you. Some people just want to retire earlier than they're set out to retire, right? It's all about financial intelligence. It's all about learning how you can get what you want financially. Maybe you just want more free time like me to spend with your family because you're sick of working 12-hour days, right? There's got to be a want in there. Yeah. And that want revolves around finances.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you want to do better financially, you want to learn about notes and you want to have Desi as your mentor while he's not retired and while he's still working. He's got a few years left in him working wise, and he might want to retire and go on boat cruises around the world. So while you still have Desi, while our coaching group is in place, and while you have this opportunity, I would suggest that if you want to change your financial future, however that is that you want to do it, that you learn about notes and you get comfortable with note investing, so that not only you can help yourself, you can help your retirement account, you know where to invest your cash, but also you can help change your family's lives and your friends' lives and all of that at the same time. So,
well, you know, you mentioned all the wants. Believe it or not, I've had a few people tell me, I just want to be able to not worry about money. It's not that they want to get wealthy. They just don't want money to be something that they think about, you know? And so I had the lady tell me once, I want to be able to go to the gas station, fill up my car without checking the balance on the ATM card first, you know? So sometimes it's not that they want a Lamborghini. They just want a better life. And so financially speaking, and we certainly see that happening in the note space for people that pursue it. So let's see, there was another question here. How much does it take to get started? Patrick, you want to take that?
it depends on how you want to get started, right? It depends on how that's a tough question to ask, right? The one way I could say nothing. It takes nothing to get started. Okay. But also you could say that if you want to buy first position performing mortgage notes, you might have to start with 35K or more. So that what I think there is this. If you have a question like that and you're hungry to get started, but you don't know how much money does it take to get started, or how are you going to get started, or what plan should you have, that is a reason for you to go to investbrilliantly.com. Or if you want to talk to me, you can go to the notementor.com. Either way, Invest Brilliantly will take you to Desi. Notementor.com will take you to me. But we have links there. You can book a free 15-minute phone consultation with Desi or myself, where we could simply get to know you better.
Yes.
If we get to know you better and we understand your goals and where you're at now in life, we can help to show you a plan that'll work. Some people have money, some people don't. Some people have connections with other people that have money, some people don't. So we would have to sit and form a plan that fits specifically for you. And that's easy to do once we get on the phone. So book a consultation and we can help you understand how to get into it.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you, Senior Note Mentor, Patrick Franz, the eminent Patrick Franz. I'm so proud and happy to have you on our show today, Patrick. It's always good information that you provide to our people. And I do really appreciate that. So you guys head on over to the notementor.com or head on over to investbrilliantly.com. Either way, you get connected with us. We work in the same office together. As a matter of fact, if you look over my shoulder here, that chair right there, that's where Patrick sits. So we are right here together. Okay, so you guys can reach out to us and we will help you if you want help. All right. So that's it, guys. This is the Note Investing for Newbies show. I'll come on every Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock. It used to be on Mondays. I moved it to Wednesdays because I'm a morning person and I like mornings better, you know. So anyway, I hope to see you guys next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, and see you guys. Enjoy yourselves. By the way, I think next Friday's Christmas, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, we're creeping on it. It's getting close.
Yeah, I think next Friday is Christmas. I will be here next week, Wednesday. So we'll have a show next. We're not going to be dark. We will have a show next week, Wednesday. So I'll see you guys next week. God bless you all. And thank you, Patrick, once again.
All right, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.